Hey everyone, and welcome to Retcon Reads. This is a branch off of our main podcast, Retcon Air. On this little spin-off, I like to talk about books that I've read. So I've actually read 3 books this month, which seems crazy to me, but I really enjoyed all 3 of them, so I figured I would go ahead and film a couple quick little videos for you guys. As always, on our Retcon channel, we are not trying to diss any creator, author, whatever they may be, or their work. You know, we have retcon points that we might make about certain things, certain pieces of work, but it's because we enjoyed them so much that we maybe would like to have the opportunity to put our own spin on them. It's not because we're trying to diss on the work at all. So today I'm going to talk to you about the latest book that I finished, which is called Rage of Dragons. I know you can't see that because of the sticker, but I hate when books are sticky, and I love knowing I got a bargain, so I'm leaving this on for now. But yeah, The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. So the summary from the novel. Now, I don't know, this book was originally self-published, and then I think it was picked up by a separate publishing company. So I'm not sure if this is what I don't think this is what it originally looked like. But I'm not sure if this summary is what was originally on the back of the book. So it's incredibly short. It's 2 sentences. It says, "A world caught in an eternal war. One young man will become his people's only hope for survival." So my thoughts on that summary. I think that it's very condensed. The only thing I would say, I guess, is that it's a very typical summary, right? There's a war, there's someone who is going to become his people's only hope. I feel like that could be the summary for a lot of different stories, especially fantasy novels. So I think it's kind of lackluster, especially when you read the story and see what the story's all about. As for my review of the novel, honestly, I was extremely impressed with this novel. I hadn't read a fantasy book in quite some time. I had been sticking to either historical or historical fiction, and I felt like this book was exactly what I needed. It was gripping, and the writing was so well done. The characters grabbed my attention, and like I felt for them so strongly. I mean, I was emotional, which I think is a sign of a great story and great author, right? The plot is a wonderful fantasy, but the basic concepts are ones that I think anyone will feel familiar with, and I certainly did. So I was easily able to relate to what was happening in the story. Retcon points for this story. Goodness, I don't know that I would retcon it. I thought it was really interesting, the discussion of different levels of society and people wanting to surpass their born level. I think is such a important topic, and it was written very well, and the fantasy portion of the story was incredible. Yeah, I mean, it was just great. I don't think I would retcon anything. The only thing I would say is that I wish characters that I came to grow and love hadn't had to make the sacrifices that they did. That's where I'll leave that. So as for recommendations, I would say if you're looking for a really strong fantasy novel, like this book is definitely the one for you. I was transported to a new world, and I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel when I read fantasy, I kind of have to take a minute to center myself in this new world that I don't live in. But with this one, the writing was just done really well, and it kind of led you into it, and I didn't ever feel disoriented or out of place or anything. I understood the world and was able to kind of, put myself as a part of it very easily to read the novel. I flew through this book. I mean, I don't know how many pages it is, like 500 pages, and I absolutely flew through it. I mean, I couldn't put it down. I was taking it to work with me and reading it on my lunch break. It was really, really good. There are dark themes in this novel, but they're covered in what I found to be an extremely palatable way. Nothing like really shocked me or made me feel like, oh, like that's too much. The writing was just really impressive, honestly. There's a lot of descriptions about battle and obviously a lot of ugliness that comes with battle, but again, I didn't feel like shocked by anything. There's a lot of, I'll just say there's a lot of like slaying in this book, and as long as you're okay with that and like that going into it, it wasn't necessary. It was gruesome, I guess, but like I didn't consider it like shockingly gruesome. There is one mature scene in it, if you know what I mean, but as an older teen, even that wouldn't have made me feel uncomfortable. Obviously it's a scene, right? But it wasn't like, overly, how do I want to say this? It was a scene, but it wasn't 50 Shades of Grey, which I haven't read and I haven't seen, but I've heard enough to know. And I would have felt comfortable reading this as a young adult, older teen, and I obviously loved it as an adult, so I would definitely recommend this to most age groups. Something you may not know, so this novel was actually Evan Winter's kind of debut, I believe, and it was self-published, as I said at the beginning. So from there it just took off, and obviously it's incredible, so I totally understand why. There is a second novel, and I believe Evan is writing a third, so I'm looking forward to picking up the second one and eventually the third one, and I'm sure I'll cover them on here. And that is everything that I wanted to say about The Rage of Dragons. If you have read this book, or if you're looking for a good fantasy novel, I recommend you read this book, and let's talk about it. I'm gonna record 2 more Retcon Reads videos today, so you'll see me in some more other videos looking just like this. I think that's everything I had to discuss about this novel. If you have any questions, any recommendations, or any comments, leave them down below and I will get back to you. Thank you. Bye. A world caught in an eternal... It says, a world caught in an eternal war. Why am I struggling with that? In an eternal war. A world caught in...